Hello, class. How is everyone? I so hope you are doing well. I wanted to talk to you about our next major assignment, which is coming up. And I thought I'd break down some of the parts and pieces so you'll understand exactly what you need to do. Let's go on into section number 2, good and happy. And let's go down to assignment number 2, the pre-writing, and assignment number 2, the final draft. If you'll notice, you need to do an outline for assignment number 2 before you turn in your final draft. Let's look and see what are some of the things you need to do for that outline. Your assignment is about a virtue, and a virtue is defined as a specific characteristic or quality. You have a list, those 52 virtues, and you can choose one of those virtues or one of the ones you talked about in your discussion. For this essay, you need to use at least 3 of the following strategies: classification, definition, compare and contrast, or causal relationships. Classification refers to the way in which we put things into categories and types. Definition is a formal definition, and you can pull this from an online dictionary or an encyclopedia, or you can find other ways to define it. A compare and contrast means you're taking your virtue and you're comparing it and looking at the similarities and differences of either another virtue or its opposite. And causal relationships refer to the cause and effect type of relationships that you might find in the virtue. So the reasons why we do a certain thing or the effects that happen when we do a certain thing. Your essay must also have narration, tell stories, use lots of details throughout. Use these stories as a way to exemplify and to show examples of your concepts throughout. You also need to incorporate the ideas and words of one individual and have one outside source. For your outline, I want you to look at this sample here. Make sure that you indicate your virtue in red text so that I know exactly what you're writing about. And tell me what you will do for each part in each piece. For this sample, we are talking about truthfulness. And so I list my virtue and give a full, complete sentence about truthfulness. I then go and decide to do definition next. And I'm giving the definitions that I found for truthfulness. Merriam-Webster, but I'm also breaking down some of that definition as well. Truthfulness is defined as facts, actuality, even spiritual actuality. It's defined as being in accordance with facts and statements. And I'm talking about the vagueness that's inherent there, because a fact can be anything that a consensus decides. I then talk about a narration. That's that story that I want. And I'm going ahead and using a personal story. I have heard the term, the truth being used in an interesting way. My mother would say when she heard a statement that she especially enjoyed, that's the truth. And I always took what she said to mean that it was good and desired. For my next section, I decided to use classification and looking at the different kinds of truth. For one, truth can be defined as the brutal truth. Truth can be difficult to experience. And here, I decided to use an example. This is Juan's story. That's my personal interview. So Juan told a story to me about his best friend and his drinking problem, and he had to tell a brutal truth, which caused a rift in his friendship. And then I go on. Another type of truth is the half-truth, and so on and so forth. I do not want you to follow the prompt exactly. You can start your essay with anything you so wish. You can begin with classification, or you can begin with causal relationships. I just want you to think about how you will structure this essay and where you will put the parts and pieces that are needed. So go ahead and dive in, and we'll talk a little bit more about this assignment as well. I'll see you soon. Bye.